Hello, it's me, Minty. I just want to start off by apologizing for being away for so long. I didn't have a single ounce of motivation in me, so I just didn't make anything. I hope all of you can forgive me. And I hope that the 4 people who unsubscribed during this difficult time decide to come back. Okay, enough about begging for forgiveness to a bunch of strangers. Let's get on to this video's topic. So, what do we think will happen in the last books of this arc? Well, to come up with it easier, I think we need to freshen up our memory a bit. So I'll start off by summarizing this arc so far. A Starless Clan is the 8th arc of the Warrior Cat series, taking place a few moons after the Broken Code. It has 3 main characters, Frostpaw, Flamepaw, and Sunbeam. Frostpaw is the River Clan medicine cat apprentice and has had a few visions in her kithood. She has a mother and 2 littermates, a brother and a sister, named Greypaw and Mistpaw. Her father Jayclaw died of unclear circumstances while she was still a kid. Flamepaw is the son of Sparkpelt and is a ThunderClan apprentice. He has a sister named Finchpaw and had another littermate Flickerkit, who died at birth. His father Larksong died when Flamepaw was born. Flamepaw is constantly frustrated with how his clanmates compare him to Firestar, his great-grandfather, and he hopes to create his own identity. Sunbeam is a young warrior of Shadow Clan. She has 2 brothers, Spireclaw and Hollowspring, and 2 parents, Berryheart and Sparrowtail. Hollowspring and Sparrowtail aren't important to the story though. She aspires to become a mentor one day, and to be the best warrior she can be. She has had some troubles though. She's very worried for her best friend Lightleap, who has been acting very recklessly these last few moons. In River, the warrior code officially changes. However, not everyone is happy with the change, and some internal conflicts arise as cats from every clan challenge their leaders. Someone who definitely doesn't like the changes is Berryheart, a senior warrior from Shadow Clan, daughter to fellow senior warriors Snowbird and Scorchfur, and sister to the Shadow Clan deputy Cloverfoot. She quickly starts opposing the code changes massively, and gathers up huge support in her clan against them. Predictably, she is, for the lack of a better word, pissed when she learns her son Spireclaw has been seeing Fringe Whisker, a warrior from Sky Clan that none of you cared about before this arc. And not only that, but Fringe Whisker is joining Shadow Clan, which in Berryheart's eyes is scandalous. In the same book, Fringe Whisker passes a challenge Tigerstar chose, and she officially becomes a member of Shadow Clan. Sunbeam feels conflicted. She loves her mother and knows she would want the best for Shadow Clan, but she also thinks Fringe Whisker deserves a chance to prove herself, and she's deeply concerned with how divided the clan is becoming. Fringe Whisker wasn't the only cat to switch clans, so did Fernstripe of Wind Clan, to be with Shelfer. Not that ThunderClan needed any more cats. She's not relevant though, so don't strain your brain to remember her. Meanwhile in River Clan, they also have an argument which becomes so wild it causes Misty Star to have a heart attack. She passes away in front of the whole clan, and it turns out it was her last life. When all of this happened, Reed Whisker was out hunting with Fognose, Curlfeather, Splashtail, and Podlight. So they wait for the patrol to return. But when they come back, Reed Whisker isn't there, and he doesn't come back ever. They look for him everywhere, including the other clans, but he just isn't there. After some time, Leopard Star comes to Frostpaw in a dream and hints to where Reed Whisker is. Frostpaw gets a small patrol of cats and they find Reed Whisker's dead body. They now have a huge problem. They're without a leader. In ThunderClan, Flamepaw struggles with his assessments, while Finchpaw, Baypaw, and Myrtlepaw all pass. Not only that, but he fails twice. He finally passes on his 3rd attempt, but Bramblestar wants to name him Flameheart, after Firestar. Flamepaw doesn't want that, he wants to be his own cat, so he openly challenges Bramblestar about the name. They do a compromise and he's named Nightheart. Sparkpelt is pissed and so he's like half of ThunderClan. At the end of the book, Frostpaw receives a message that Curlfeather should be the next leader of River Clan. The 2 are on their way to the moon pool when they get attacked by dogs from out of nowhere. Frostpaw manages to escape, but Curlfeather is killed, once again leaving River Clan leaderless. The circumstances surrounding Curlfeather's death has led to some speculation in the Warriors community about whether or not it was intentional. Did someone purposefully send dogs to kill, or was it just being at the wrong place at the wrong time? Sky is mostly a filler book, but that doesn't mean everything in it was meaningless to the story. Shadow Clan and Thunder Clan both have cases of green cough, but none of them have catmint. And not only that, but one of the cats sick is Tiger Star and Dovewing's son Rowankit. They go to Sky Clan, but they are also dealing with green cough, and they are also out of catmint. A patrol is sent out of clan territory to search for catmint. The patrol consists of Sunbeam, Lightleap, Nightheart, Alderheart, Fidget Flake, and Rootspring. During this journey, Sunbeam and Nightheart become pretty close. The patrol finds catmint, but not in time to save Rowankit. He died shortly before the patrol got back. Frostpaw, in another attempt to find RiverClan a leader, goes to the moon pool. She speaks with Curlfeather, who tells her to look beyond the obvious choices, which he concludes means that Owlnose should become leader. Probably for the best, as he's a huge wimp. But now RiverClan is leaderless, yet again, and the gathering is tonight. But they can't hide the truth for much longer, so Owlnose pretends he's leader and Splashtail pretends he's deputy. But the cover doesn't hold for long, and the other clans find out everything. This makes Tiger Star decide he's their lord and savior, so he forcibly takes over RiverClan. They found out RiverClan had catmint this whole time, cementing Tiger Star's view that they cannot care for themselves. Nightheart has a fight with, I believe, Squirrelflight. I'm a bit unsure. This causes him to decide to join Shadow Clan, and that's where Sky ends. Shadow starts with the aftermath of the Shadow Clan takeover of RiverClan. Tiger Star installs Icewing as leader, angering them as they know Icewing is friendly with Shadow Clan. At the gathering, Leafstar has heard about Shadow Clan taking over RiverClan, and openly confronts him. He defends his actions, but is hit with a lot of criticism. Bramblestar is with Sky Clan on the issue, though Squirrelflight seems to have stronger views, while Bramblestar tries to be the I know you want the best guy. Hairstar mostly sides with Shadow Clan, but will change his mind if RiverClan doesn't find a leader. Berryheart is furious at Sunbeam for getting with Nightheart, and wonders what the hell she was thinking. It's announced Nightheart is joining Shadow Clan, but from out of nowhere, Finchlight suggests 3 challenges instead of 1, and the leaders agree. Frostpaw has realized she doesn't get real visions, and therefore has no connection with Star Clan. She announces this to her clanmates, who are very unhappy, and is reapprenticed to Herolite. Sunbeam is growing more conflicted with her mother, and notices her acting suspiciously. One night, she sees her mother and a few other warriors sneaking out. She decides to follow them. She finds them meeting in secret with some RiverClan cats, led by Splashtail. They discuss how Shadow Clan must get out. Sunbeam later confronts Berryheart. Splashtail is being very pushy about Frostpaw. He really wants her to become a medicine cat apprentice again, which Frostpaw finds annoying, and we the readers find suspicious. But in an absolute twist, Frostpaw gets a real Star Clan vision. It revealed Reed Whisker's death was no accident at all, he was murdered. Frostpaw, who is in love with Splashtail by the way, tells him about this vision and that she's going to WindClan to ask Whistlepaw for advice. However, on the way there, she is attacked by someone and is knocked out. There's speculation in the community who it was. Most people think it's Splashtail, but honestly, who knows? Nightheart has failed his last task, and he did it intentionally, as he's realized his true place is in ThunderClan. He rejoins and makes up with his family. During this chapter, Eaglewing also gets a personality, so that's nice. Bramblestar decides to step down, and Squirrelflight will become leader. Sunbeam decides to follow Nightheart to ThunderClan and join him. And that is the arc so far. What do I think? Well, so far the arc has been good. I think they've done a good job developing the main characters, as they've all grown on me, especially Sunbeam and Frostpaw. And the background characters are more developed than they've been in a while. I care about a lot of them, for example Goldswoop. Please let Goldswoop leave out this arc at least. We know that she's the gossipy type, who loves drama, We know Yarrowleaf is the one who knows where the best moss is. Berryheart is the key opposition to the code changes, and there's many more. Of course, that doesn't mean there are no unnecessary cats. There are lots. Tell me why Flowerstem is needed. She's had like one line this whole arc. And Holspring and Sparrowtail are Sunbeam's family, yet they're never there. She never talks to them, and she never thinks about them either. I honestly think the writers forgot they were related to her. I don't think Sunbeam has ever just seen them walk by and thought, "That's my brother! Oh, that's my father! Please just kill them." And kill Poundstep. She's the forgotten tiger dove kid who has never served any purpose to the story. And over in ThunderClan, like, half the young people are basically nobodies. But they're not the problem, because unlike ShadowClan, most of the ThunderClan cats are the ones from Omen of the Stars or earlier, and they refuse to die off. Here's the list of ThunderClan cats of the Last Hope, and here's how many are still alive. Here's a list of ShadowClan in the Last Hope. Here's how many of them are still alive. So yeah, ThunderClan seems to survive a lot more than ShadowClan. So the problem with ThunderClan isn't the young cats, it's the older cats who are refusing to die off. Tell me why Lionblaze is still relevant. Why is Mousewhisker still here? He had potential with how basically the whole community ships him with Minnowtail, but they keep him as a generic cat. Isn't it time for Cherryfall or Molewhisker to pass away? Or Bumblestripe? Whitewing and Birchfall will probably retire soon. Why not make some room for them? It almost seemed like Brightheart and Cloudtail would get killed off last year. But they didn't. In my opinion, that was a missed opportunity. If some of these older cats get killed off, then the younger cast can get a chance. You have no idea how much potential I see in them. Honeyfur, Hollytuft, Plumstone, and even Eaglewing are cats who have so much missed potential. So how about we give them the spotlight a bit? The only clan who doesn't need to lose cats is RiverClan, to be honest. I think a clan should have a population in the mid-20s. On top of that, I also think there should only be 2 main characters. I thought that about the Broken Code as well, but this arc has really shown me that having 2 main characters is better. Tell me why we need a Nightheart. His whole family drama came out of nowhere, and everyone I listened to found it and "I don't look like Firestar blah blah blah" annoying. All he has given us is a romance arc that the series could have done well without. But if only Sunbeam and Frostbow were the main characters, we could get to see them and their clans more, and develop new relationships. Cause let's be honest, they are a lot more interesting than Nightheart. Now let's go over what I think will happen in the next 3 books. I'm aware some of my theories are unlikely, but who cares? It was very hard to predict the future things. Excuse my bad English, it's my second language. There wasn't very much to go on. It's an obstacle, but it could also be an opportunity, which is how I took it. I took it as an opportunity to use my creativity. What do I think or hope will happen in the books? It's not easy to come up with theories. So let's play out the future books. Woo! In the prologue will be Squirrelflight receiving her 9 lives. I'm not sure who the cat would be, the ones giving her 9 lives. But she is becoming leader, despite what many of you say. At the end of the prologue, she's hailed by her new name, Squirrelstar. Now I'll go character-wise in the books, not event-wise, if that makes sense. Riverstar comes to Frostbite in a dream, where he tells her she needs to find the roots of RiverClan. She calls after Riverstar desperately as her dream fades. She awakes in the WindClan Medicine Cat's den, looking around with wonder. She then realizes all events that led to her ending up there, and she realizes she was attacked. Furthermore, she realizes it must have been a cat from her own clan. She does not immediately think of Splashtail. She just assumes he told someone who didn't want her to reach WindClan. Hairstar comes in and says it's good she's awake. Frostpaw, for multiple reasons, beg him to not tell RiverClan they found her, or that they know where she is. He protests, but eventually agrees, though he questions her motives. Frostpaw gets a chance to talk with Whistlepaw alone, and describes her visions. and about the dream she just had. Whistlepaw wonders what it could mean. Frostpaw says she must find the roots of RiverClan, the place Riverstar was talking about. Whistlepaw wonders if it's a good idea. It sounds risky. But Frostpaw insists she goes on the journey, if that meant war between the clans could be prevented, and that RiverClan could finally have its leader. Whistlepaw says it's dangerous to go alone, and convinces her brother Flutterfoot to go with her, because he's disposable. They sneak out during the night, as there's no way Hairstar would let one of his warriors go on a dangerous mission like that. Especially not such an inexperienced warrior, and certainly not with the apprentice from an enemy clan. The start of the journey goes smooth. Frostpaw finds Flutterfoot reliable, despite him being visibly uncomfortable. After a while, though, the pair get lost. They can't for the lives of themselves find a place they recognize. They meet an energetic young kitty pet, called Waffle, who helps them find a place they recognize. Frostpaw explains they're going somewhere, and describes their destination. Waffle's eyes brighten up. He knows what place they're talking about, and he knows the way there. He offers to help them find their way, adding he's really been longing for an adventure. Frostpaw and Flutterfoot accept his help, and they're on their way. On the way there, Frostpaw discusses clan life multiple times with Waffle, who seems interested in what she has to say. He also turns out to be quite knowledgeable on a lot of things related to nature. The three cats eventually make it to the place, and Frostpaw gets a super strong vision, showing how the clans are being destroyed from the inside, that they're on the brink of war, both with each other and internally. She gets told what to do to prevent this, and her last chapter ends with her telling Flutterfoot and Waffle that they need to get back fast. Sunbeam is in ThunderClan, but a lot of cats distrust her, and she feels uncomfortable and unwelcome. But she knows it's for the best. After a while, she's missing her family and friends, and starts questioning if it was a good decision, but she pushes the thoughts away. Around the time she completes her first task, she realizes she wasn't truly in love with Nightheart, and they break up around the middle of the book. Sunbeam returns to ShadowClan and is surprised that Berryheart is happy to have her back. Sunbeam decides to repair her friendship with Lightleap and Blazefire, and she decides to focus on being a good warrior, and to fulfill her dream of becoming a mentor. Romance can wait. She reflects that she depended too much on others, and it's time for her to be able to deal with heavy stuff on her own. She's faced with a new challenge. Many in her clan distrust her after leaving, so she'll have to build her way up from the bottom. I always saw Sunbeam and Nightheart as friends. They're written better than most couples, but when I read about them I always feel the vibe of two best friends emotionally supporting each other. The first half of Nightheart's story is basically like Sunbeam's. Find out they're not made for each other and break up. The second half is about him doing a conscious effort to grow closer with his loved ones. I think the second half will be focused a lot on family. I think that's why Sparkpelt and Finchlight are on the cover. Sunbeam at the front because she's a main character. I know a lot of people think like they're looking for Nightheart. I don't think so. I think it's because Sparkpelt and Finchlight, there will be like heavy focus in the story, and like Nightheart was on the front of Sky, Frostpaw on the front of Shadow, so it only makes sense that the third main character is in front of Thunder. So that's why I think Sunbeam is at the front. There are a few things that will either affect no specific main character or affect multiple main characters. First of all, I think Mistpaw and Greypaw will become warriors. I'm not sure exactly when, but they're almost at warrior age now. Through the book, RiverClan asks around if anyone has seen Frostpaw. After over a moon has passed and there's still no trace of her, they assume she must be dead or left willingly. Tigerstar uses this to show this means RiverClan needs help. ThunderClan gets a new deputy. It's a random background character no one remembers, as I want the younger cats to stand out a bit. I'm not guessing on a specific cat, but I'm just going to say Eaglewing, cause why not? Squirrelflight knows many cats have pointed out the nepotism in ThunderClan's positions of power, so she made sure to choose someone she's not closely related to, but can still work with. Through the book, we will get to learn more about Eaglewing. or whoever gets chosen as deputy. I'm thinking Nightheart may develop a friendship with them, as they will still both be young warriors. Perhaps they will have something unexpected in common. Between the clans, tensions are growing, with Shadow Clan still controlling River Clan. Squirrel Star gives Tiger Star an ultimatum. Leave River Clan within 2 moons, or she'll make them leave. Leaf Star backs Squirrel Star fully, saying she'd be there too if it came to that. Hare Star, though, now sides strongly with Tiger Star. He just makes up some excuse, but the reality is that he thinks stuff must be really bad in River Clan for Frostpaw to turn up on Wind Clan territory, injured almost to the point of death, and begging not to let her clanmates know she's alive. A big verbal fight breaks out, with everyone yelling at each other and almost attacking. It only stops when Star Clan covers the moon with clouds. In Shadow Clan, Berryheart's base grows stronger, and she continues her meetings with Splashtail. The two discuss on how to get Shadow Clan out of River Clan. Berryheart says that she'll do her best to convince Tiger Star, but that if it came to war, she would have to fight with her own clan, as it would be against the code not to do so. Splashtail says he understands. And that's it for Thunder. Now on to the next book. Predicting wind was pretty hard. As of me writing the script, no blurb or cover has been released for this book, so I have to go off what I guess on Thunder. And for this prediction, I'll go timeline-wise, and not character-wise. The book starts as Frostpaw, Flutterfoot, and Waffle make their way back to the territories. They will spend most of the book going home, hoping to get there before it's too late. River Clan warriors are starting to rebel more against the Shadow Clan warriors. But there's only so much they can do against a clan so much bigger. Because of the chaos the rebelling warriors are causing, Tiger Star tightens the grip of the clan. It isn't really something he does intentionally, if that makes sense, but the River Clan warriors sure notice, and they don't like it. Sunbeam silently disapproves, but she says nothing out loud as she knows Cat will think she's disloyal. They all freshly remember how she left for ThunderClan for almost 2 moons. Birchkit is apprenticed and is given to Sunbeam as Tiger Star wants to show everyone she can be trusted. Lightlead comments privately that she hopes to get one of the Cinnamon Slate kits, and that she and Sunbeam could train their apprentices together. This is an idea Sunbeam finds positive. Over in ThunderClan, we're getting to know the deputy, in our case Eagling, a bit more. I'm thinking she and Nightheart could become friends, just so we get to know her a bit more. At the next gathering, Squirrelflight says the time is up and demands Shadow Clan leave. They refuse. The gathering is a mess. Cats are all screaming on top of each other, and they don't stop until the moon is covered with clouds. This whole drama is used by Berryheart to later explain why it's best for cats to stay in their own clan. Anyway, as they're leaving the gathering island, Squirrel Star tells Tiger Star that she'll go to River Clan in a quarter moon, and that if Shadow Clan isn't gone, she'll force them out. Leaf Star agrees, saying she'll be there too. Hare Star doesn't say anything there, but privately tells Tiger Star he's on his side, and will be there to defend him. Frostpaw, Flutterfoot, and Waffle pass by Waffle's house, but he says he'll go with them as he wants to see the clans. In Shadow Clan, Sunbeam is doing a really good job training Birchpaw. The apprentice being the only living kid of his litter, Tiger Star and Dovewing watch him a lot. Seeing Sunbeam train him so well makes them trust her very much. A quarter moon passes, and Squirrel Star arrives with all the ThunderClan warriors currently able to fight. Shadow Clan and Sky Clan and Wind Clan will show up with their warriors. They're in River Clan camp, and all the cats are eyeing each other suspiciously. Squirrel Star gives Tiger Star one last chance to leave and settle this peacefully. He refuses. Squirrel Star declares any blood spilled that day will be on his paws, and the clans break out into battle. The battle is very brutal. Blood is on the campground, Sunbeam mentions almost tripping over a dead body. The air is filled with a feeling of despair. Nightheart and Sunbeam want to keep an eye on their loved ones, but they can't in this sea of cats. It's mentioned in Sunbeam's head that Fringe Whisker is fighting harder than any other Shadow Clan warrior. Frostpaw, Flutterfoot, and Waffle get to River Clan territory. They hear yowling and hissing. and they realize something bad must have happened. They start running and quickly realize it's coming from River Clan camp. They get there and see the horrible scene in front of them. Frostbite yells for them to stop, and they do because their missing child is back, and so is Wind Clan's missing adult. The warriors look around them and see the things they've done. Blood splattered all over the place, injured warriors, dead warriors. It was horrible. Not thinking it's worth spilling any more blood, Tigerstar accepts defeat and goes home. The battle was devastating for all the clans. A lot of cats died, including Eaglewing and Cloverfoot. In ThunderClan, some more important cat is appointed deputy. I don't know who, but people have done lots of good videos about ThunderClan's next deputy, whoever it will be. In ShadowClan, in a move no one expected, Sunbeam is appointed deputy. She's stunned, needless to say. Like I said, a lot of cats died in the battle, and while I'm not sure who, I'm still going to make a list, because I really feel like it. From ThunderClan, Bumblestripe, Molewhisker, Sorrelstripe, Junos, Eaglewing, and Lionblaze. From ShadowClan, Cloverfoot, Sparrowtail, Grassheart, Flowerstem, and Slatefur. Optionally Hollowspring, as he's Sunbeam's brother, but has done absolutely nothing all arc. From SkyClan, Plumwillow, Cloudmist, Pigeonfoot, and Gravelnose. From WindClan, Songleap, Emberfoot, and Leaftail. And from RiverClan, Lizardtail, and Gorseclaw. Now, if only a few cats die, I will feel cheated. I want to see a bloodbath, and I think we may get one. It seems like the ones creating the stories are watching this community's videos and taking notes. Want more RiverClan? Here you go. You want Missy Star Reed Whisker dead? Yep, no problem. You want Squirrel Star? Heck yeah. At this point, they must know our feelings towards the clan's overpopulation, but it's weird not many cats have died yet. I think, and hope, it's just because they're preparing for a slaughter. Remember, these are cats living in the wild, they can get killed off whenever. The book ends with Frostbow about to tell Mothwing of her journey and her visions, and Waffle decides to stay a bit to help RiverClan recover. This will be very short, as I couldn't really do a good prediction for this book. Frostbow tells Mothwing everything, first about her journey and her meeting Waffle. Mothwing is shocked and angry. Frostbow scared everyone. They thought she was dead. She tells Mothwing she wants to be a medicine cat apprentice again, and then tells her about the vision, that RiverClan is in danger, and it's because someone in it is evil. Mothwing believes her, and Frostbow tells the rest of the clan about her visions. However, most don't believe her, due to her history of fake signs. ThunderClan and ShadowClan are mourning their fallen. In ShadowClan, Berryheart claims Fringe Whisker didn't fight as hard as she should have. Spireclaw defends her, saying she fought just as hard as everyone else. One of the anti-change clanmates object, saying they saw Fringe Whisker hesitate to attack a SkyClan warrior who was pinning down a ShadowClan cat. They all start shouting at each other, but Sunbeam silences them, saying this was a moment to remember their dead clanmates, not to fight with each other. Berryheart switches her anger toward Tigerstar, saying ShadowClan shouldn't have been in RiverClan to begin with, and that all these deaths are his fault. He becomes very angry with her. After the vigil, Sunbeam struggles with her deputy duties, but she receives words of encouragement from Berryheart, and from her former mentor, Snaketooth. I really cannot guess anything more than this, but I have some hopes. I hope there's a revolt attempt in ShadowClan between the pro-changers and the anti-changers. Their hate is so strong that it drives all their actions. So I hope they don't just go, whoopsie, we were wrong, power friendship, and avoid conflict. Remember, this is all just theories and hopes. While I have gone through my entire prediction, we're not done yet. There are some theories that I've seen others suggest in forums and videos, and I also had one person suggest their own theory, and while they seem to have deleted their comment now, I managed to write it down before they did that. Ha ha ha. The first theory I'm going to address is the one that Squirrelflight will be killed by the dogs that killed Curlfeather. I can see why people would think this. It certainly felt weird that she didn't get her leader ceremony in Shadow. While people have reason to believe she'll be killed, I just don't see it. The evidence against this happening is a lot stronger than the one for it. And even then, the only solid evidence for it happening is pretty weak. The reason Squirrelflight didn't have her leader ceremony in Shadow could be for multiple reasons, including the one I believe, which is that it will be put in the prologue for Thunder. If it's not in the prologue, then I could be more friendly to this theory. But even then, I just don't think the writers would give Squirrelflight such a nothing death. She's such an important character to them. Would they really go, yep, have her die off screen? And like I mentioned, the evidence against her dying is a lot stronger. If I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm remembering it wrong, Curlfeather died while she and Frostpaw were walking through WindClan territory, but as we can see on this map here, ThunderClan doesn't need to go through WindClan territory to get to the Moonpool, already lowering Squirrelflight's risk of dying significantly. And like others have pointed out, someone probably planted the dogs on Curlfeather. What would they gain on doing that to Squirrelflight, especially since RiverClan doesn't know she's becoming leader? And also, the cats I find most likely to have planted the dogs on Curlfeather are also the cats who want ShadowClan to get the hell out of their camp. Why would a cat who is strongly against ShadowClan's presence in RiverClan be a target? I overall think Squirrelstar would serve the story better. If the team chooses to kill her, it's a decision I cannot understand. The second theory I'm going to mention is the one that Curlfeather was part of the RiverClan anti-change group and also murdered Reed Whisker. I think this theory is possible. In fact, I believe it pretty strongly. It makes so much sense. She was on the patrol where Reed Whisker went missing, and she was pretty dismissive to Frostpaw's concerns about the wounds on Reed Whisker's back. Not only that, she also told Frostpaw to trust no cat, as she was getting killed by the dogs, suggesting she knew something was up. Why would she warn her daughter to not trust anyone unless she knew there were cats in RiverClan wanting to bring harm? I also think this would create a cool moment where Frostpaw basically has a breakdown as she realizes her mother wasn't a good cat. Overall, this would be a good addition to the story. The last theory I'm going to bring up is that Mothwing will die. This is a theory I had myself, in case you remember. I still think it's not impossible, but I find it a bit unlikely. If she were killed, I think it would either happen in the last book, whatever happens there, or during the hypothetical battle I made up. I think the latter option would be a good way to force Frostpaw back into the role of a medicine cat. And that was all I had to say. I hope you found my theories interesting, and I would love to see yours. I hope to not be gone for like half a year again. See you next time. Bye.